It is January 28th, 2016, and this is the Overdose Talk Show. Thank you for joining us. It is a semi-comfortable 52 degrees here in New Orleans. Breezy with clear skies. There's no traffic because nobody in this poor-ass town has a car. Andrea and David Box, as always, joining me on Skype up in Chicago. How do you guys do this evening?
Oh, we're doing just fine.
We're doing actually quite well, Vinny, quite well.
Are you?
Yeah, for January in Chicago, actually, it's pretty nice.
We should say thanks to new subscribers and new people who hate us and some new attention on YouTube, and we're going to go over some comments and everything later in the show. But for right now, I guess the obvious thing to do is jump right into the FBI footage that just came out about the showing the Lavoy Finicum killing up in Oregon. As I was uploading the last video, in that video I talked about, I'm like, it's such a pain in the ass doing these videos, because when you sit down to actually make the video, you stop taking in news and new things keep happening and developing. So basically I spent like 3 hours making a fucking video that didn't need to be made, because right as I finished it, and it was all about speculation on the eyewitness accounts of Lavoy Finicum's death, I immediately after I uploaded it, I'm like, oh, they just released the footage anyways. My speculation is worthless.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, well, you speculated first.
So Andrea calls me and she says, hey, they put the video out, and they shot him and he had his hands up. And I'm like, I watch it and I'm like, he didn't have his hands up. And then we start talking. We're like, well, he seemed to reach for a gun at some point, right? Isn't that what it looked like?
Yeah, I don't know. He seemed confused. To me, it looked like he was surprised. Okay, so he gets out of the car with his hands in the air. He's walking away from the truck with his hands way up above his head.
And let me just jump in for 1 second. For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, I don't know where you've been, but this is, the guy in one of the militia members up in Oregon who was occupying that bird sanctuary or whatever the fuck it was. Lavoy, who was killed a couple days ago in the arrest when they arrested the Bundy brothers and all of that. So anyways, Andrew, I'm sorry. I just realized we just started talking about him like he was somebody, like a household name. So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, he gets out of the car and he's got his hands above his head, but a police officer comes out of the woods on the other side of him where he wouldn't have been expecting an officer to come from. And to me, it looked like he was kind of turning around and being confused with his hands in the air and there's no audio. That's the problem. I think the biggest problem with this video is that there's no audio.
Right.
And you can't tell when the first shot is fired.
Uh-huh.
And you can't tell what was being communicated outside of body language.
It's a helicopter. If there was audio, it would just be fucking horrific, just buzzing and air noise and shit. The audio would be worthless.
It's a plane, they said.
No, I read helicopter.
Oh, I read plane in two places.
I don't know if
I
don't know if, unless they had one of those really fancy Air Force planes that just hovers in the air. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how it could have been a plane.
Well, because they said it was flying in a pattern, and cameras have the ability to lock onto stuff while the plane is moving. The camera would still stay locked on.
Oh.
But I thought it was a helicopter too. I just read plane, I just want to be.
The Vice article said helicopter footage, but whatever.
Oh, okay.
Anyways,
anyway.
Yeah. So you're saying that.
So I'm saying he turns around and his back is to the camera, and he turns to face the officer that was coming out of the woods, who appears to have a very, very large assault weapon. And that's when he may have reached into his jacket, but his back is to the camera. You can't really see where his hand is.
And his movements are confusing, because he seems to go out trying to surrender, and then looks like he gets confused and starts turning back and forth because possibly someone started firing at him. That would be, and then maybe he gets hit and he goes, what else can I do? And he reaches for his gun. Now that's going to be a huge argument forever on this video is people saying, no, they were telling him to lay down and he reached in his jacket, and what else could they do? And other people saying it's obvious that they fucking shot first. The other one that's going to be, at about 8:11 in the video is when he starts to take off. At that point, they have him pulled over. He's in a Canyonero or some similar vehicle.
Canyonero.
Yeah, and what I saw, so I checked it out, and I'm like, do I see anything weird here? And I see like a couple of light flashes, which I immediately thought, could that be like muzzle flashes or something? Because at 8:11 you see a flash, the brake lights on the car go off, and at 8:13 or something you see another flash, and he just takes off down the road. So I want to give this one to David Box, who we kind of rely on for video analysis, because that's what he does for a living. How am I even supposed to say what you do? You're a cameraman and you do a lot of editing and you know a lot about video, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Well,
Multimedia specialist or something.
Okay, so you generally know what you're doing with this stuff. So you took a look at the video. What do you see at that point where?
Can you?
Yeah.
I was looking for the flash and expecting to see a gun flash, but when I look at the footage at 8:11 in the video, right before the brake lights go off, it seems like there's an adjustment in brightness. And if I'm seeing it, can you make it full screen?
Yeah.
The pavement seems to increase in brightness pretty uniformly on like the entire road.
Right.
And but it's hard to tell what's happening.
Here's the other thing about it is, like, I went back through the video thinking, okay, if this is a camera is function or something that some lighting adjustment or something, then this probably occurs at other points in the video. And I couldn't see anything like that, but obviously I didn't sit. We were getting ready for the show, and I didn't sit there for the full 26 minutes, but I hopped around and I watched the full 2 minutes before he took off, and I didn't see anything that looked like that, So it would be pretty coincidental that it happens.
Yeah.
It happens, and he all of a sudden takes his foot off the brake after they've been sitting there for fucking, I don't know, 15 minutes or whatever, So.
Yeah. Well, whatever it is, it's real subtle. It's hard to see, but I would expect a gunshot flash to be more localized and less, I wouldn't expect it to change the color of the entire frame that we're looking at. But I kind of want to watch it frame by frame, because I think every time that I'm looking at it, I'm seeing something a little differently.
And this just came out, right, Andrea? A couple hours ago or something?
Yeah. About like 2 or 3 hours ago.
Yeah. Right as I was uploading that other video. It's like,
and I was frantically calling you.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? I was ignoring everything because I'm like, I got to finish this fucking video. I've been working on this thing for 3 hours. I don't need to know whatever Andrea's trying to tell me right now.
Yeah, with 4 phone calls and a string of text messages and...
So there's still...
This,
well, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that this really, really shocked me. I was mostly calling you over and over because I was really upset.
Dude, we really liked Lavoy. And,
Man, I cried when I saw this.
He may not have been someone that we'd hang out with or something like that, but he was just he seemed nice. You know what I mean? He seemed like a good guy. And when you listen to him talk for an extended period, he's made a lot of sense. And he may not have been the world's smartest person, and he may not have had all the answers, but I liked him. And watching him die was fucked up, kind of, after you kind of become a fan of someone, and you see him lay on the ground and you saw his arms go up and he's kind of, his last death twitches and stuff was just like, oh man, made me a little bit sick.
Yeah, it was really difficult to watch.
Yeah, and so let's go back to the eyewitness accounts now, because you remember that Mark McConnell guy said that he charged at the police. You remember that?
Yeah.
He said he charged at the police. He also said he heard that from 2 other people that were in the car with Lavoy, and the media kept reporting it as an eyewitness account when he said himself it wasn't. Right. And so what are his motives in doing that? Or did he just get bad information or whatever? But we should try to figure that out as time goes on. You know, if we can identify people who are purposely, you know, putting out bad information, then maybe they're connected to some, you know, some larger conspiracy around this. But
Well, the other thing that you need to remember, too, about Mark McConnell is he was apprehended, and then he was questioned for 2 hours before they let him go, and he started talking to people. So there's no way to know what the police were feeding him. You know, there's a possibility that they were...
or what deals were made.
Right, and that they were manipulating the story and saying, you go out there and you talk to the press, and you make sure that the following things are clear, and we're going to let you walk out of here. Because he didn't get charged with anything. They questioned him, quote unquote, questioned him for 2 hours, and then they let him go.
Pete Santilli got arrested and charged, didn't he? So what is that about? And you know, he's just live streaming from the place the whole time, and he's like I don't know if he calls himself libertarian, but that's what he seems like to me. You know, kind of annoying fucking classic radio guy kind of personality that goes out to these things and broadcasts, and they picked him up. I still don't really understand why. But they're letting a bunch of other people go. They also picked up John Ritzheimer in Arizona after he left that fucking morning. You know that? So people are all looking for like informants and you know, agents and this and that. Well, doesn't look that great when you take off that morning. You know what I mean? And you've been this really weird, high profile kind of douche in the media for the past couple of years. You know, he's a guy that I look at and I go, wow, if you were gonna fucking write a character that was meant to just go out and cause arguments and division and demonize certain ideas about like the Second Amendment and shit, that would be the guy. You know, you couldn't really write a better character. Standing around in his fuck Islam shirt and talking like an idiot on the news. You know, it's like, and then he takes off that morning and they pick him up in Arizona. You know, so who knows? Who knows?
All right, wait. Can we go back to Pete Santilli for a second?
Yeah.
He has been categorized now as an embedded journalist, and they're accusing him of having intentionally fed information to the feds and the police, which resulted in a lot of arrests.
Right. I saw that people were saying that, but I didn't see much to back it up yet. But you know what? I haven't checked today. So did you find anything or?
It's still a lot of talk and circumstantial stuff, so nothing concrete, but it is worth mentioning.
Yeah.
And also, he was recently accused of providing information to radical anti-police movements. And apparently the idea is that he seems to be trying to play both sides of the coin.
Yeah, he seems
in some way.
He seems kind of like a douchebag. He really does.
Right.
Just from the stuff I've heard, he was trying to fucking get in touch with the FBI apparently, so that he could go get the women and children out of the refuge before they take any violent action or whatever. Like, what a fucking that's just like some classic, just like man cow radio garbage. You know what I mean? Just like some fucking stupid old attention whore shit. You know?
Yeah.
He's got douche face too.
Like, you don't think the FBI, if they want to get the women and children out, can do it? You know?
Right.
They probably fucking figure that one out without you, buddy.
But don't you remember what happened in Waco?
Well, and that's the thing. If they want to kill them all, that's what they're going to do. You're not going to fucking do anything. And similarly, you know, I guess they are keeping the media pretty far back, too. They've got a bunch of checkpoints and shit set up still for the people that are left, which I think there's only like 5 of them, and a couple of them are those guys that did the fucking... 4 now? So
down to 4, yeah. 1 more left today.
So you saw that, like, the live stream that those guys had when they were, like, digging a trench or some shit? I don't know what the fuck they were doing. I swear to God, when I saw them with that excavator, I'm like, do not tell me these fucking assholes are digging a World War I trench right now. Don't fucking tell me that. So I don't even want to know what they were doing, honestly.
Like one of those big claw machines.
Yeah, I really don't want to know what they were doing. And again, like, don't misunderstand us. We're totally sympathetic and supportive of this cause and what these guys chose to do. But it's like, I mean, it's over, you know.
This is where we live now.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's no man's land over there.
And they didn't do it very well. It didn't go well.
It just didn't pan out.
Yeah, but whatever. So they're up there like screaming into the camera like, you got to get up here and defend America. And like, you know, I even agree to a certain extent, but like, dude, they've got the place surrounded. There's checkpoints. What is everyone supposed to do? Run up with guns and just start killing cops and everything? And then what? Then 250 of us stand there and take on the National Guard? What the fuck is going to happen?
Yeah. Yeah, what exactly is the end plan?
Yeah.
I do really appreciate how the FBI said on Wednesday that anybody who's still in the refuge is free to leave, but they must exit through a checkpoint.
Yeah.
So
Totally free, though.
you're completely free to leave the refuge as long as you leave through a checkpoint.
It's like
where
what Bernie
most
Sanders.
people are getting...
It's like what Bernie Sanders said about Edward Snowden. Like, I think he's totally free to come home, but he's gonna have to face the music.
Yeah.
What? Fucking retard.
Yeah, like he's always been free to come home and face the music.
Right.
That's why he's not home.
I think he's he's totally free to go to jail. All
Yeah.
right. All right, Gramps.
Oh, Grandpa President.
Grandpa Sanders.
So, anyway, the charges that everybody is facing as of right now, anyone who got arrested on Tuesday, they're facing charges of, federal charges of conspiracy to use force, intimidation, or threats to impede federal officers from discharging their duties. And that carries a maximum 6-year sentence.
So they made them all constipated?
Yeah.
They couldn't discharge their duties?
Yeah. It took weeks.
We charge you with constipating our public officials. How do you plead? Like, where am I? Just woke up here.
But no, you know what? This situation has really had me kind of emotional over the last couple days. I feel
sucks about Lavoy. It really does.
It really does.
But one way to interpret the video would be that he wanted to fucking be a martyr.
Yeah.
Because it is weird.
But
it is weird.
People who knew him personally would never tell that story.
Right.
You know?
And I understand that, but you don't see a clear moment in the video where he like has his hands up and it looks like something hits him like a bullet, where he goes, oh, you know. Yeah, it doesn't. But his movements are strange and frantic, and he seems to go to the gun as like a later choice. His first thing was to be in surrender mode. So there's something weird about it. Something very strange.
It really seems like if he reached for the gun, it really seems like that was a backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes out, are his hands above his head, or are they?
No, they're like
stretched
more out to the sides, kind of.
So what if he's like spinning around with his arms out like that? Like, come on, you fucking pussies. I got my gun right here. And then he's just fumbling with his pocket.
Well, he didn't go but his hands
but he's
didn't
not
go.
fumbling with his pocket.
Yeah, his hands didn't go anywhere near his pocket for the first few seconds.
No, until it gets weird and murky. That's the first time you see him reach for his...
Right, and I'm saying, like, we didn't have time. It just came out, whatever. As the next, like, few days go on, somebody's going to break down that video in a genius way on YouTube. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
There's no dash cam footage or any shit like that? Is this all that there is?
They haven't released any dash cam yet, no.
They also haven't said that they have any. Now, on Wednesday...
But you know what else, though? From the angles of the vehicles, it looks like one of them would have been pointed right at the scene, doesn't it?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it would capture the front of Lavoy as he was reaching around him, which is kind of the confusing part of the video. So it would be able to see if he was going in his jacket or what he was doing.
Yeah.
it would seem pretty irresponsible of both the cops and the other people in the car not to use their phones or something to gather footage.
I
the
thought
cops should have the
immediately-
dash cams for whatever purposes they usually have them.
Right, and why were not the people in the car live streaming it the second they got pulled over?
They were in. Well, this was a setup. They were in a cell phone dead zone.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. All
Set
right.
up this blockade. They invited these people to go speak at a meeting, and then intercepted them. They set up these barricades on the route that they knew that they would take to this meeting, and intercepted them in an area they knew that their cell phones wouldn't work. They set them up.
Oh,
It was
man.
it was a setup start to finish.
Wow,
The invitation
okay.
to speak. It was a town meeting that they were invited to speak at John Day Senior Center, and it was a meeting regarding the future of the land. I mean, it was a bait and switch. It was a complete setup, start to finish.
Well, that's
That
what I.
changes everything.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was in the dead zone, but you know what? I don't know how significant that actually is in that area of the country. I mean, if you've been out to places like that, there's a lot of fucking cell phone dead zones.
it's mostly
you know?
dead zone. Yeah.
So I mean, that who knows? But
But still, that's why they wouldn't have been streaming. Also,
okay, right.
I don't know how often you've been in a car involved in a police chase where the police may or may not be firing at you.
Twice.
But I have a feeling that those passengers in the car were a little more concerned with not getting shot
Mm-hmm.
than getting their cell phones out and getting the footage.
That's true, of course. Yeah, and dude, and then after
Victoria
that,
Sharp.
Victoria. Well, oh yeah, I was just gonna say before that, you know, her story was that he got out and said, you know, if you're gonna shoot me, just shoot me, and you know, with the adrenaline going right after this happened and stuff. And I don't know how close she was with these people. She was a singer that was up there for some reason, Christian singer or whatever, and she was gonna go with them and sing at this meeting. I don't know how close she was or whatever, but obviously it's a traumatic experience, and so who knows what her if that's the whole if what she's saying is the whole thing. Maybe he's like, you're gonna shoot me, just shoot me, come on, this is what we all been waiting for, blah, and maybe it went on a little more, and maybe he, dude, I don't want to say it's not a possibility that he basically martyred himself. I think it's
Right.
fair to say it's a possibility, right? Because he may have decided this was his moment, this is his contribution. He talked in that language in previous interviews. In I'm not gonna ever spend a day in a cell. He said that.
He said, "I'd rather die than be detained." He
Right.
did say that.
I mean, so it's a possibility, you know, and that's not to try to say that he's a piece of shit or something. It's just to say, let's be real about it. That's definitely a possibility, and you know, he had his reasons for doing what he did if that's the case. So that's
Yeah,
that's some heavy shit.
now the
if he did.
thing that seems weird to me is Victoria Sharp. There's that video that she came forward with that was shared by the Bundy Militia's Facebook page. But she says, like his hands were in the air. They shot him 3 times after he hit the ground. And then she says that they fired at their vehicle at least 100 rounds. She estimates 120 shots were fired at the vehicle she was in. Which is another frustrating thing about not having audio on this new video.
Well, the dash cams
because you
could.
can't
Dash cams might.
you can't tell.
Yeah.
You can't tell if guns are being fired at the vehicle. They're throwing flashbang grenades, which they admit to have done, and it's obvious that they're, you know, but those don't do anything. They just concuss and they make a big noise, you know.
Oh, the video's crazy. After Lavoy's dead, you just start seeing a shitload of explosions around the car. Just these fucking boom,
Yeah.
boom. And I'm like, what are they doing? Like, what?
Yeah, and what are the people inside the car doing that they could possibly construe into being threatening? You know, they're staying in the car.
Just in case you didn't see us shoot that guy.
Yeah.
Here's
well,
some more loud noises and shit.
And yeah, that's part of the reason they do stuff like that, though. Too is you know, let's make a big scene for the media so that everyone understands these people were really dangerous and this was a battle. You know what I mean? Not just a
right. not just an execution.
Right. So let's make this big spectacle. A dramatic video emerging from Oregon where an
Shootout.
a shootout with militia members occurred, you know. Remember how that's what they first reported it as. A shootout, a gunfight. Not much of one. That's basically like you walk down the street and you just knock some fucking 85-year-old woman's teeth out, and somebody posts a video of it and goes like, epic street fight.
Yeah. Public brawl.
Yeah, bar brawl spills into street. You're just beating you're just beating a lady in a wheelchair to death. Fuck you, bitch. We're fighting. Whatever. So,
but this still, it gives me a pit of sadness in my stomach too, because we have kind of been on the militia bandwagon since it started. We've been more or less in support of these guys.
As goofy as they are, you the facts of it are what they are, so
right.
And
I've tolerated a lot of people calling them terrorists, trying to make light of the situation, make them seem stupid, unorganized, like they're there for no reason.
Yeah.
And then Lavoy, someone who I felt a bizarre personal connection to just because his ideas were so similar to mine, dies, and people are still, and that's not enough. People are still making fun of them, and these are people who they felt passionately about something, and they wanted to make a change, and they took things into their own hands, and they did it in a noble and, although they were armed, it was a peaceful takeover,
hurt a single person, did they?
And they're still being made to look like idiots even after Lavoy dies.
Mm-hmm.
So these people are trying to make a change, and instead they get made fun of, murdered, and then made fun of.
Yep. Well, that is the plan for them with the establishment,
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. It does make me sick to see like the casual just commenting of like, "You guy got what he deserved," and this and that. It's like, dude, man, do you know? Did you look into it at all? Do you know the fucking how long this battle has been going on out west?
When is the BLM gonna get what they deserve?
Right. Exactly. And you know who else pisses me off? That fucking Paiute Indian tribe.
Yeah.
You know what? I am so sick of being everyone. We're supposed to act like Native Americans are this mystical wise people. They sometimes they're fucking morons. All right. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Well, you know what I mean?
Sometimes.
Like, dude, it's you understand what I'm saying? It's like we genocide them and we fucking denigrate and just fucking demoralize and just destroy them for 200 years, and then in like modern culture adopt this just adulation and affection and reverence for them, and now they're this like now they're our country's lost mystic. Like, fuck you. I'll think what I want about them. And you know what I think?
There's nothing mystical about them.
They're just idiots like everyone else. And that stupid
Savages.
no, that's not Andrea.
Is that? Oh,
They're
okay.
alcoholics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Fuck. What I'm saying is the Native Americans are whatever. They're just idiots like everyone else. And that stupid fucking Paiute tribe who was, being so vocal about like, we're worried they're gonna desecrate our lands, and like, what?
You don't have the voice right.
I wasn't trying to do an Indian voice. I was just, but I'm like, what are you talking about? Like they kept releasing those statements about like, we want the militia members to leave. Like, who gives a fuck what you want? What are you talking about? They're in support of the federal government on this issue, and the BLM. And everybody thinks they're so fucking clever, pointing out, look, well, the Indians, it's actually their land, and they say the militia members should leave. Oh, really? Yeah, do they? So they're going to support their original direct oppressor, the legacy of their fucking direct fucking genocidal oppressor, and say, you know, hey, what is the point?
We know what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's like this weird little fucking backhanded, bratty, kind of like catty little thing to do, you know, just like,
well,
you know,
let's
it's
give the
actually
land back
ours.
to the dinosaurs, because the dinosaurs were really there first.
Why don't we take all the
Before
dinosaurs?
that, it was the fungus.
Why don't we take all the dinosaurs out of the museums and set them back up all over the country and all slit our throats?
Yeah.
But
It's the only fair thing to do.
That whole thing got me thinking. I'm like, dude, how can a Native American tribe be on the side of the fucking BLM? And so I call Andrea just with a hunch, and I go, report the results on the show. I don't even want to know, but I know in my gut what the answer is going to be. Andrea.
Yes.
Has the BLM engaged in any corrupt activities to take land from Native Americans?
Yes.
Really? Was that easy to find?
Big time.
Did that happen to be did that happen to be...
Did it happen all over the country constantly and continues to happen to this day? Yes.
Yeah, so what'd you find out?
Well, first of all, the Militia Wildlife Refuge used to be Native American land.
Of course.
That was coerced away from them through just like miles of permits and unsigned agreements and so on and so forth. Now, that's a little bit murkier because it was a combination of stealing that land from ranchers and stealing it from Native Americans. However, there is a couple of related cases, really big cases in Nevada regarding the BLM trying to seize land from the Shoshone Indians.
Mm-hmm.
One of which, let's see, an ex-tribal leader, Raymond Yowell, ex-tribal leader of the Western Shoshone National Council, is being sued by the BLM right now because, so in 1863, they signed what's called the Treaty of Ruby Valley, which basically said this land still belongs to the Shoshone people. However, they agree to let ranchers use it for grazing cattle, and they agree to let the federal government come in and do X, Y, or Z. They agree to share this land, and they allow us to tread on it.
Yeah, but weren't a lot of those... I remember hearing ever since I was a little kid that a lot of those treaties were basically signed because the I gotta stop saying it, dude, because I know I'm not like a PC fucking person like that, but it's like I just don't think
They're not
that
Indians.
they should be called Indians anymore.
Yeah.
The Native Americans,
The Shoshone, just call them the Shoshone.
or the Shoshones, or but whatever, Native Americans in general. I remember hearing for my whole life, like, they would sign these treaties because they didn't understand the concept of land ownership. And like what the ramifications of that could be. They couldn't imagine that somebody could be told you can't go on this giant in this valley. You know, they didn't have that concept, you know. I mean, I'm sure they had territories and that they fought for and whatever, but that's just what I heard my whole life. I don't know.
All right. Well, this treaty allegedly guaranteed vested rights to Shoshone people, and that it was supposed to protect them from ever being evicted from the land. However, let's see, it was 60 million acres across 4 states were protected by this treaty. Nevada, Idaho, Utah, California. The Supreme Court ruled in 1979 that the treaty actually gave the U.S. government trusteeship over tribal lands, and that they could therefore claim them as public or federal lands. So basically, the Supreme Court unearthed this 100-year-old document and said, oh, no. What this really means is that you gave us the land because we said so.
Right, because because fuck you, and we don't care.
Granddad's signature right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then,
does this picture of a duck with a bow and arrow represent your great grandfather?
Yeah. Do you recognize his thumbprint? So anyway, so they decided officially in 1979 that the land did, after all, belong to the federal government. Luckily for them, the Tamoac Livestock Association, the Tamoac is a branch of the Shoshones in Nevada, they had already purchased permits. Starting in 1940, they were paying grazing fees on the land that already belonged to them, but they had gotten like hoodwinked into purchasing federal permits and paying grazing fees on this land.
Okay.
And then in 1984, when their permit expired, they stopped. This is Raymond Yowell is in charge of this group of Shoshones, and he stopped paying the grazing fees because it was still his land as far as he was concerned.
All right. So anyways, I wanted to get the scope though a little more, and thanks for doing all that research. But how often does this happen with the BLM and Native Americans? It's a ton of shit that you found?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like everything relating to Native Americans and the BLM is basically the BLM conning Native Americans out of land that they agreed to share.
And then you
because like you said, they don't understand like ownership.
You dumb
so they say, okay, we'll share it with you.
Dumb motherfucking Paiutes take the side of the BLM.
Yeah.
What's a Native American Uncle Tom? Because that's what they are. And you know what? If they have a fucking casino, I'm never going there.
Uncle Spirit.
Yeah.
But weirdly enough, the Shoshone, which I found the most stuff about the Shoshone versus the BLM, are like the arch rivals of the Paiutes.
I like that David Box really weakly threw in Uncle Columbus in that awkward silence where none of us could improv an Indian name like usual. I heard that in the background. Uncle Columbus.
Well, I started saying it at the same time Andrea started talking, and I was just like,
it just had nothing.
She's got it.
It just had nothing behind it, though. It was just like, Uncle Columbus.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know if the BLM has like a secret sweeter deal with the Paiutes, or maybe they have greased the wheels somehow to get them on their side. But no, the Bureau of Land Management has no history of treating anybody with dignity or integrity or what they're worth, flexibility.
They probably have one of those reservations like the fucking what's the place that the Lakota tribe had that's like got the highest or no, the lowest. It had the lowest life expectancy of any place in the Western Hemisphere, or the whatever it was. It was like the Western Hemisphere other than Haiti, I think. Yeah.
The Lakota?
Yeah, that was the tribe. I don't remember the name of the reservation. But yeah, it's like a horrible place up in fucking North Dakota or something, up in that area somewhere. One of those states that none of us have ever been to and don't really care about.
Yeah.
That whole area.
Leave them over there. Not interested. What's interesting to me though is that any Native American reservation that is federally recognized is also considered a sovereign nation. So I don't understand why their dealings with the United States government aren't treated as like international dealings, because they're not actually part of the country. They have their own government, they have their own representation, they have their own law enforcement and their own set of laws. So why is the federal government ever allowed to say, oh, no, wait, no, we need this? It's not theirs.
I've also been listening to some videos by like constitutional lawyers and people like that and legal experts and shit, that a lot of people are on YouTube and stuff are saying the federal government isn't supposed to be able to own land other than they had a provision for 10 square miles for Washington D.C. and to stuff like defense, like forts and all that kind of shit, and a few other little things, but they originally weren't supposed to be able to at all, according to the Constitution, own these like vast areas of land. And it is a weird concept, and especially when we're now so far. I mean, you're an idiot if you think the federal government has your best interests in mind. You know, if you think that we are like that the federal government is just this thing that's like, oh, it's for and by the people and you can run for office and blah, blah. Just buzz off. If you, I really don't understand.
Take a hike.
It's like
Get lost.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even want to argue it anymore. But like, so you're comfortable, I guess, with this weird runaway entity that just preys upon us to just start owning shitloads of the country when our basic fucking rights come from, you know, the Magna Carta and I think the Swiss Constitution having to deal with like land ownership equaling, you know, having a fair say in the way that a land is governed. So, you know what I mean? It's a really bad trend for the federal government owning more and more and more and more land.
Yeah,
What do
we
they
should
do with land? Sorry.
I was just going to say we should look into, because I imagine that national parks are where the gray area started to form when the federal government wanted to start establishing national parks.
Wasn't that
that's where they found their in.
Wasn't that an
I was just gonna
FDR
say.
thing?
I think so. Yeah.
That guy was a
Classic.
motherfucker, dude. I don't know
He did
why.
so much shit.
I don't know why I never hated him before, and then like recently I've just been realizing like this is the motherfucker right here. He did that gold recall, that gold fucking, what do they call it? Confiscation or recall or whatever, where he recalled all the fucking U.S. minted gold coins for whatever period. We talked about that a bunch of times. Signed more executive
Wasn't
orders.
he the one? Yeah, he was the
signed
one with the most executive
shitloads.
orders.
Yeah.
By
By
like
wide
thousands.
margin.
Yeah.
By thousands.
what a
It went from
fucking piece
200
of
to
shit.
Is like 3,000.
Yeah.
Why do we not hate him all the time? Let's do something on him for the next show. Can you write that down?
Yeah.
Let's just
that
talk
guy.
about what a
Fuck
fucking
you,
cocksucker he
FDR.
was for like a half an
Cocksucker
hour.
of the year.
Fucking FDR. I feel like my dad should have taught me to hate him. Like that should be like fundamental for growing up. Like
Right.
I was watching a documentary called "It's All a Rich Man's Trick" the other day, and they were talking about FDR.
What'd they
Good
say?
deal. I don't remember. It was a lot of stuff, but it seemed like the rich Jews really got to him.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
you've been doing a lot of
If I-
Jew stuff.
Huh?
You've been doing a lot of Jew stuff.
I haven't done any Jew stuff. What? You kidding?
No, I mean like you've been
No, have you been like looking into Jew
Oh
stuff?
no. They just like they pop up here and there
right.
while you're looking at shit. They're everywhere.
He's just naturally drawn to topics that have the Jews entwined.
Right. David Box. David Box is a xenophobe.
Yeah, that's
You're
how
a
I would
xenophobe.
describe him.
Hey, you know what? Since I think we're at, I realize it's the issue of the day and it's fucking really important, but I don't know what else to say about the Oregon stuff right now. Do you? Anything?
Yeah, no, I've kind of said what I.
This guy messaged us earlier on Facebook, and apparently he's a huge fan and he wanted to call in and talk with us. So he's been on the phone for almost the whole show. And let's bring him on. Thanks for holding. 518 area code. I forgot your name. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, dude? What is your name again?
Eric.
Eric. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I didn't have my
Hi, Eric.
Facebook thing up.
Hey, what's up, Andrea? I was just about ready to sign out. I was giving you guys a shout out. I'm falling asleep a little bit.
Oh, okay. Sorry, dude. Yeah, we
Well,
had
wake up.
we had to get
You're
through
on
all
the
that
air.
shit because like all our new subscribers subscribe because of that topic and stuff. So I wanted to put out a little hour on that or whatever. But where are you at?
I'm in upstate New York.
All right, and what did you want to talk about?
Just, I don't know, a little bit of everything, you know. You guys are the shit.
Oh, thanks, dude. Hey,
No, it's cool. I stumbled upon you, like I said, a couple days ago, and I was rolling through some conspiracy theory shit like that, getting crazy, and I stumbled upon you guys, and I was like, man, holy crap, you guys talk about some real shit.
yeah, we try. We try to. Didn't you say you found us because of the making a murderer discussion or
Oh,
something?
God, yeah. Yeah, that's a whole different story. That's going to keep me up for nights upon nights now.
What do you think about the idea that like he was being framed by two separate people at once?
Oh, Jesus. like I said, I mean, I binge watched it for 10 hours on a Sunday. I watched every episode of it. I got my wife sucked into it. We were like, all right, one more episode. Next thing you know, we finished it, and I'm like, holy crap, he's innocent. The government is corrupt as hell.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got the combination of, like, for me, it was the bones that they found, and how, I forget exactly how it broke down, but they basically scientifically proved that the bones didn't originate in that fire pit. So somebody brought those there, you know, and then the police, it seems like, really believed that he did it, but they thought they didn't have enough evidence, so they tried to make the case themselves, you know, and it was this combination. It's just like, how could this fucking happen? This is insane.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Dude.
And I understand Netflix did the whole one-sided story part. I get that. You know, I'm a realist. I see that. And I've heard other shit afterwards, you know. I listened to the defense side of their story and how they make it sound one-sided on their part, but Jesus Christ, the evidence is just, or like this guy slayed this woman, bloodied her, cut her throat and shit, and there's a little bit of DNA on a key.
Right.
Holy crap! Really?
Yeah. Right, and nothing in the garage. You know what I mean? Nothing in the garage. Nothing. You know what I mean? Like none of these.
Well, and also none of his own DNA on the key either. Only her DNA.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Oh, there you go.
Now
right.
here's something I saw too much later. You know that one photo that they show of Teresa Hallbach where she's like standing in front of her car and she's got her camera and she's like kind of like bent over, kind of weird, and she looks kind of creepy.
With the two keys?
In her hand she has keys. It's not a key, she has keys.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet they only found one key.
I believe the key they found in the place was the spare key. Like I heard a thing the other day, you know, it's the valet key. It's the one key, you know, in case you lose your keys.
Yeah, it's like the one that doesn't have the chip in it or whatever. Yeah. But there's so many like little tiny things like that, so many weird little discrepancies where you just like can't accept the story they want it to be.
Yeah. Well,
now, did you hear the theory about Ed Edwards?
It even farther, you guys know about Edward Wayne Edwards. You must know about him.
Yeah, and that's what Andrea was just saying. She just said, "Do you know about Ed Edwards?" Right as you were saying it. Yeah, we did. That guy's fucking crazy, and it fits the MO. So the MO fits so perfectly. I mean, obviously, you know. But wait, you know what I thought about Andrea? Didn't you say like he targeted like big like media figures and stuff, right? Or
yeah.
Well, he targeted his.
Vinny.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, can I jump in? Yeah. So therefore, starting the making of a murder, I got nuts and I see this thing about John A. Cameron writes this book. It's called It's Me. And I just stumbled upon it a little bit, started listening to it. And yeah, like you said, his MO is he wants to be the best murderer or killer in the world. And he had this crazy ass life that he grew up with, killing people, AKA the Zodiac Killer and all that shit, because therefore it sprung another thing that I got nuts on. So I started listening to that shit, and yeah, he wanted to be recognized. He killed people and set people up and made them look like the bad guys. And his whole thing was sitting back and watching like justice
the media
take out the innocent people.
Right. Fucking evil genius weirdo. God.
Dude, I've watched a ton of shit about that guy right now, and I lost my mind on that. If you check my YouTube or my fucking phone, Edward fucking Wayne Edwards will be on everything. I'm scared that somebody's gonna come looking for me right now and be like, "Why are you studying this guy?"
Dude, one of his proteges, he's got like proteges like Saw, you know, like in the Saw movies, and they're gonna fucking come and make you the next news story.
Oh yeah. I've almost felt that way. I really have felt that way. I'm like, fuck, I need to stop this shit because I'm going to get in trouble, and I have nothing to do with it.
That's what you say.
But,
you know what?
Sound awfully defensive.
He did just contact us out of nowhere. You contacted us out of nowhere. Maybe you're working up your media presence right now to try to.
I hear you, bro.
You know what I mean?
My
Oh,
wife
my
fucking
God.
screamed at me. She's like, "Stop looking at this shit. Stop doing it. You're gonna get in trouble."
Yeah.
We've all been there.
So we gotta go to break in a minute, but before we go, we should get to know Eric a little bit better because I have a feeling we'll probably hear from you again.
Dude, I've listened to like 6 of your shows in the last. I do auto body. I work on cars.
Okay.
You got the wireless headset going on,
Nice.
and you got like 4 hours an episode. Just everything you guys talk about is fucking kicks my ass. I love it. It's freaking awesome.
Well, thank you
You
very
guys
much.
are down to earth, real deal.
So where do
Couple F-bombs in there.
where do you
Couple
live?
rusty fucking octopuses. That was funny as shit. I heard that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. That was funny.
I put that in the memo so you knew I was real deal. So you knew I really listened to your shit.
Hey, where do you live? Like in a small town, rural area? Where are you at?
Well, upstate New York, you ever heard of Saratoga?
Yeah,
Saratoga racetrack, all that good shit?
Right, yeah.
I'm right down the fucking road.
Okay. So what's it like there? Like, you got a nice quiet life. You're working on cars, or what's going on? You got
quiet.
you got any kids?
I got 2 kids. I got 2 boys. They haunt me.
And did you say your wife was pissed off because you wouldn't stop listening to our show?
Oh God, she fucking hates me because I'll pause. I made her listen to you guys when you were doing the shit about the 2 retards with the 20 pounds of dope.
Oh yeah. Oh God.
I made her listen to that. She's like, "Shut this shit off and fucking go to bed." I'm like, "No, this is great."
Never.
It was fucking funny as shit.
I'm trying to
But
have
I
it.
rewound it. I had to fucking make her sit there and fucking go back through the shit and rewind it. It was funny as hell, dude. You guys are awesome.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Keep me on the line. Don't get rid of me. I want to keep talking to you. You guys are fucking awesome.
All right. Well, we gotta go to a break, and we'll bring you. Well, you know what? If you want to hang out, we'll bring you back on later. So just put your phone on speaker or whatever, and we'll play some music for a little while and shit.
It's all good, buddy.
All
you
right.
guys are awesome. Andrea, I love you. Tell David Box he's a
thank you.
fucker.
Holy shit. David Box. You've got some competition. Wait, hold on. What did you just say? Did you say David Box is a fucker?
Well, yeah, to that extreme. Yep.
Yeah, okay. He is. He's a piece of
No,
shit.
he's all quiet and shit, but I know he's pretty badass in the background.
Yeah, he's all right.
Thanks.
Well, thanks for the call. We'll let you hang out as long as you want on the line, and we'll bring you back on in a while or something. It might be funny. So
Yeah, I can be.
Eric,
If not, I might have to hit the hay because I do have to work on cars tomorrow.
that's cool.
Sucks ass, but
You can give us a call anytime. But yeah, Eric up in upstate New York. Thank you very much.
upstate New York, there's no snow here,
Sweet. Talk to you
so
later.
we're not affiliated with New York City.
I'm just fading him out.
Buried in snow.
There he goes. Eric's cool.
Yeah.
I just faded. I just faded him out as he was still talking. That's a nice introduction to how you'll be treated as a caller on the show.
That's actually much nicer than you'll probably be treated in the future.
Right. Yeah, we'll start once we get to know you. We'll start really just treating you like shit.
The hang-up gag.
We
Gets him
hang
every time.
We hang up on our dad every time he calls.
Yeah. Unless he gets to us first.
He got wise to it. Now he fucking starts hanging up on us. He set us up so good. The one time he's like, And another thing I want to say, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like getting my hang up ready, my fucking dial tone sound effect. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Like he's about to launch into some fucking long-winded thing, and he's just click. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Oh.
This
that shouldn't have
motherfucker
worked.
here.
Yeah.
My music is not
I
working.
think Eric's gunning for your job, David Box.
My job?
Mhm.
Yeah, your job on the show.
Oh. What is that? The mystery expert?
Andrea-
Or the quiet guy?
Andrea's fiance.
White guy. Yeah, that's what he's going for.
He's gunning for the job of Andrea's fiance.
I'll have a talk with his wife about that.
Yeah, you should.
Are you on his side?
You should start. We have his Facebook. You should start stalking him and get in touch with his wife. Be like, dude, it's over. It is over for you.
He told me he's moving to Chicago.
There's a new girl in town. That's not a song.
No, you go to New York.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to stay here with the animals.
I'm stalling because I have a bunch of freezing bullshit computers. I'm gonna have to.
Oh, I did not think that's what you were going to say.
What did you think I was gonna
Why
say?
are they in the freezer?
Why are they in the freezer? I thought you were going to say freezing balls for some reason.
I have a bunch of freezing balls.
Yeah.
Holy shit. It's like, you know, when I do this thing that, remember that old hack comedian trick where they'd have those little red foam balls and they'd come up to like your table at some cheesy restaurant and they'd be like, okay, put your hand around this ball, and you'd open it up and there'd be like 6 of them. That's what I do with girls that I bring home. I'm like, here, put your put your hands on these. And now take them off, and I have just giant grotesque 8 testicle fucking monstrosity going on, and they just fucking scream,
No.
run away. That's a little trick I do.
Yeah, little trick for the ladies.
I've noticed over time a lot of our jokes have had to do with like just fantasy mutations of genitalia.
Is that real common?
It's always funny.
I was listening to some of the old shows the other day, and for whatever reason, I don't really remember why we were doing this, but apparently me and David Box had a running joke going on about having like 8 or 10 dicks each, and because we kept talking about it, but I don't know how it started. But we've done that a few times. I don't know. It seems like we do a lot of shit like that.
Yeah, that sounds like you guys had like tentacle dicks or something.
Right.
Was that a thing?
Yeah, it went on for like a couple episodes.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
start saying, let's keep our dicks crossed instead of our fingers crossed. Maybe that's where it came from. I have no recollection of that many dicks.
Look, and it's still funny though.
I'll have to go back and listen to those episodes.
Hey, can you guys play music from there? Because I'm
Eric, go
failing.
listen to those episodes and tell us what you think.
I am failing to play music.
Yeah.
My,
Stand by.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. This
You're not going to be able to talk while there's music playing.
Yeah,
What
no,
would you
I don't
do?
care. I want to go outside and smoke. I don't give a shit. I don't even like talking on this show. I just do this for the 62 views. You know, makes me feel good about myself.
What do we feel like hearing? Oh, we're scrambling around.
Oh, I don't.
What do you
care,
feel like?
Andrea. I don't care. You know, I like rock and roll and Dixieland. You know what I mean? Just new stuff like that. How about you play?
No.
All right, how about this?
We're gonna listen to Charles Manson.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Awesome. That's so funny, dude. I was just gonna
Eric's
say, how
got
about
me in
this?
the mood
Let's
for
listen to
serial
Charles
killer.
Manson. Huh?
I said Eric's got me in the mood for serial killers.
All right, you guys go ahead and do it. Take it to break. I'm gonna go have me a little break. Guys, we're gonna play like a few Charles Manson songs. We'll be back in a few minutes on the Overdose Talk Show, live on Ustream and recorded for our YouTube following. You good, Andrea, or what?
Oh, garbage.
Oh my God! Stop! Oh my God! Holy shit! That is not gonna work. Andrea, I had to mute your channel because that was the worst thing that's ever fucking happened in my life. That was just really loud and distorted. And my YouTube finally just started working again. So I can do it. Let's see here. There we go. Man, I'm fucking bummed about Lavoy still, though.
Yeah, me too.
It's really bothering me.
It's weird. It's weird to feel this much about someone you've never met, you know?
I feel like a stupid
And, like,
fanboy about it, kind of. But, like... And I also wonder if that's part of the fucking thing, though. Is, like, why is the most lovable guy the one that got killed? Like, if this was... Because my mind, dude, I try not to do it without evidence, but, like, in my mind, some of these things are just completely staged, and everyone's an actor. And especially, like, you saw how small that scene was. People are always like, do you know how many people would have to be involved? Like, well, I don't know. There was, like, 7 or 8 right at that little scene. You know,
By my estimate, 10 or less.
I mean, you know, and obviously there's more behind that, but it's like it's not as many people as people assume. You know, to
Hi, Charlie.
to pull something like this off. All right, there we go. I'm gonna play the music. You guys are gonna be able to hear it now, and so you'll know when we come back.
Yeah. Well, you know,
And everybody else, thanks for hanging out. Back in a minute.
We're going to let it go right
and then
now.
take out what you want and the rest throw it away. You should get a job making people nervous.
Coming back on the Overdose Talk Show. I'm calling Andrea and David Box back because I hung up on them so we could listen to Charles Manson. Hello.
Hello.
Hey. You know, the thing about this music is that it's not that good, really. It's all right.
Sure is made by a serial killer, though, so it's got personality.
Right, and I had to just stop it because it's on the same channel you're on, so I couldn't fade it out all nice. But yeah, it's got its moments. I like that I like that since the start of the show we've just been playing Charles Manson music during the breaks every once in a while. That's funny, but
well, so few people have heard his music.
a lot of people that you would talk to don't have any idea. You're like, did you know Charles Manson put out a shitload of music? They're like, what? Like, yeah, man. You could feed the world with my garbage dump. You ever heard that? Like,
He put the yoke on it.
He put the yoke on it. My 13-year-old, I don't know, what was it? My uncle had to stand out on the corner and turn tricks just to put the yoke on it. Whatever his
Put the yoke on it.
lunatic ramblings were in that video. You know the video where he's like, it's Charles Manson just like in a little prison interview room or whatever, and he's like, do I feel blame? Do I feel shame? Do I feel and he just starts like going off like on all that like weird like scat nonsense. I remember
Salmonella Fitzgerald.
You know that video, right? Where he just starts going all crazy. The funniest thing ever was in like the first fucking week that I had a MySpace page way back when, you know? And it was like this whole thing of like everybody posting funny shit was just fucking new, you know? And it was like somebody posted that video and it was hilarious and we're all talking about it. And my friend Jimmy does a total transcription of the crazy like scat thing. And he wrote it all out perfectly. And it was like this big, huge, long paragraph of just like, but if you read it along with him doing it, it fit exactly right. And I just still remember that. This fucking made me laugh so much over and over as I kept looking at it and replaying the video. Just like, damn, he transcribed this perfectly.
No, wait, hold on a second. Charles Manson never actually murdered anybody, did he?
There's like a rumor that he did on the Spawn Ranch. I forget the guy's name, but there's like a story that one of them told. I think maybe Tex Watson told that that they took some guy way out in the wilderness and shot him. But no, he was never.
Yeah, I just realized because I was calling him a serial killer, but I guess that's kind of unfair.
Well, it is a little weird, man, because like he definitely was a crazy guy. Is a crazy guy. Did a lot of fucked up shit. Like he reportedly fucking blew like a 14-year-old kid one time in front of the whole, congregation at the Spawn Ranch to show that he had no sexual ego, because he preached all this stuff about, losing your ego and your sexual hang-ups and all this shit. But he spent his whole fucking life in prison. His mom was like a crack whore and this and that. And
putting the yoke on it.
Yeah, she was out putting the yoke on it. And he spent most of his life in like detention centers and places like this. He has a prison mindset. He's prison. He's what happens. He's an institutionalized fucking crazy person, So he had these weird ideas about sex, basically, because he'd been fucking raped his whole life, I think.
Right.
So he did all this crazy shit and all this and that, but no, he never really was confirmed to have been behind the Tate LaBianca murders, which, by the way, that was Roman Polanski's fiance, right?
Yeah.
So look who you're talking about. This weird character who's like this Hollywood elitist who had to run to fucking France because he fucked a 13-year-old. It's
right.
Like the whole thing is surrounded by murkiness, and it was, a lot of people think it was, a whole staged thing to demonize the hippie movement and like bring an end to that whole fucking thing and fucking throw LSD in the garbage culturally and
right.
all this shit, The radio personality Mae Brussels, did you ever hear of her?
Mae Brussels?
Yeah. Can you look this up, because I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's MaeBrussels, I'm going to say. Her stuff is all on YouTube. I've listened to it, I've sampled it. I love it. She was like a housewife that got obsessed with the Kennedy assassination. And she started doing, fuck, Andrea, look up her little biography if you can, because if I remember right, she just got on like AM radio, Access TV, stuff like that, and started, and she would send out tapes too. People would order tapes of the broadcast, way before, any kind of internet or anything like that. She's sending fucking audio cassettes of her broadcasts out.
FM radio, actually. She
was on FM radio. Okay. So she talked a lot about how Charles Manson was like a CIA mind control experiment or whatever. He was part of like MK Ultra and stuff. And she went out, she did a few 2-3 hour broadcasts on it about how he was, just basically a CIA asset and a player in a narrative.
Charles Manson you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
That is interesting. I can't say it doesn't make sense, although I've never thought of it that way.
Well, you know what?
This woman seemed to have a pretty good grasp. She, let's see, it says that she became fascinated with the assassination of John F. Kennedy, bought all 26 printed volumes of the Warren Commission report. And that's what got her onto the radio, where she suggested that perhaps Lee Harvey Oswald did not operate independently.
And he didn't. He didn't.
Of course.
Yeah,
not.
but apparently she was one of the first people to kind of break that idea open.
Lee Harvey Oswald, who there was no description of whatsoever. Nobody saw the act committed. Nobody saw him leave the book depository, but then the police apprehended him based on a description at the movie theater, and to this day, no one can say where that description came from. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. No,
John F. Kennedy's ghost.
Sorry, I was just talking about this the other day because I met this stupid fucking NPR-loving fucking fag fuck. Dude, I'm sorry. Sorry for using all the F words, but we're talking, and he's like one of those people that I'm like, well, you know, somehow the JFK thing came up, and he's like Lee Harvey Oswald did this and that. I'm like, no. Listen, dude, I've looked into this quite a bit. Can I tell you something? And he's like, no, I don't believe in any conspiracy stuff. I'm just like, oh my God, what does that mean? What does that even mean?
I don't listen to anything that goes against what I already think.
Yeah, what is conspiracy stuff? You mean fucking like? What is it? What does that mean? You don't believe that powerful people would collude to preserve or expand their power to the detriment of the general public? You don't think that's a thing? You fucking retard! I hate these fucks, dude.
You better put your tinfoil hat back on. They might hear you thinking that.
You know, I've had my moments where I question 9/11, and I have a lot of friends that talk about this stuff, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You don't believe what? Anything that the government or media hasn't told you? The fuck does that mean? But I've heard this over and over. I just don't believe conspiracy theories. What does that fucking mean?
Which ones?
Yeah, you mean you don't? How about Gulf of Tonkin? No, that was a conspiracy theory. They used to fucking say.
Yeah, what about all the hundreds of things that were served as conspiracy theories while they were happening, but history has proven to be true?
Billions.
It's a defense mechanism.
Right.
When they say they don't believe in conspiracy theories, what they're saying is, I'm afraid of the change that would be necessary in me. I'm afraid to believe this shit.
Right, and it's that same thing that is at the core of a lot of people's resistance to new information is, if I have to admit that I've been fooled, I'll feel bad. But not only that, I might have to do something. I might have to exert some energy to change something that I'm doing so that I can live with myself. Sure, right. Don't tell me the fucking manufacturing process of this product I like, because I don't want to know I like it. I want to keep buying it. You hear that in casual conversation.
So
you know?
Don't tell me what's in a hot dog.
Don't tell me that. I love it.
Yeah. I used to be like that a lot more than I am now. There are certain things that I don't want to see or hear just because I know that they're harmful to me, not because I want to protect myself.
Like a Mexican chainsaw beheading?
Yeah. Like, I don't... I would rather preserve myself in that situation. But
I've watched that fucking goddamn Mexican chainsaw beheading 50 fucking times. I don't know why. But every once in a while, I just get fucking bored, and I'm like, and I feel creepy, and I'm like, I want to see something fucking just, ugh. And I go, oh yeah,
something creepy.
That thing never gets old. The way the guy just looks up before he gets his fucking throat sawed in to by a chainsaw, and the guy with the chainsaw looks at him like, hey, you ready? And the guy's like, he kind of gives a little nod, and he holds his chin up for the guy to fucking do it. Jesus, you would have to saw through my chin. I would never. You'd have to saw in my fucking head would be so firmly down. Nothing. You'd have to saw into my fucking through my nose, saw my fucking mouth off, to get to my throat. My chin.
Yeah, I was imagining sawing through my bottom teeth.
Yeah. You'd be sawing.
That guy might have seen his buddy try that though. And been
no, he did. No,
what?
He was the first one. This is the first guy to go.
No, I know, but he might have seen it happen to somebody else. Fuck, he might have chainsawed somebody in the chin himself.
Or spent a few hours on YouTube or Faces of Death or whichever.
They don't put that on YouTube.
They'll take that right off of YouTube.
If you want to see some fucked up shit, I think it's Gorgrish. Is that right? Gore. I just have it in my history all the time. I don't really remember what this is.
What if they just thought they were making a viral video?
Hold on.
Or look at this Gorgish website.
Yeah. We'll be famous.
Let's do something like that.
Dude, chop my fucking head off. What should I use? Chainsaw, bruh.
Yeah. Dude, brah. Chainsaw. Anybody else doing that?
Dude, you'd have to saw through you'd saw my head off teeth first. Fucking through my through my throat. That That guy puts his fucking chin up just like, yep, it's going to happen. Fucking do it. Yeah, GOREGRISH.com. Do not go to that website unless
you want to see some beheadings.
Unless you want to see some shit. It's not good. Don't fuck around with that website. If you've been watching, like me, I've been watching Faces of Death since I was fucking 13 or whatever. And I dude, for me, I've seen enough of it. I know what it is. It's not going to fucking traumatize me anymore than it already has. So, if you want to see some shit, but what also is interesting about sites like that post totally uncensored crazy shit, besides the fact that there's constant porn ads while you're watching someone being beheaded, like, I don't think that's good for my brain to fucking to be seeing fucking sexy ass bullshit while I'm watching a Chechnyan fucking scream out of his fucking trachea. I don't think this is good. But besides that, you will find a lot of interesting stuff in the descriptions and comments, because they'll post beheadings and go, this is this group that does this and blah blah, and breaks it down for you, and it's like some weird little fringe fucking group that you've never heard of and doesn't get shared on Facebook or any of this shit. So some of these deep fucking uncensored 8chan, 4chan, and stuff like that, you're gonna have to weather some unpleasant things, but you're gonna end up learning some very unique shit too, and there's some really hardcore info in there.
And then someone leaves a comment that just says LOL.
And then someone else leaves a comment like, dude, I totally jerked off to this video. You're like, what? What? No, they are. There's a lot of like sexual sadists in those sites,
Oh God.
Dude, it's a weird. Like, here's the thing. Just when you talk about this to people, they go, "Well, I think I'm open. I'm really open to a fault." And I think when I talk about it to people, I probably don't even realize how much they judge me for going to these sites and then talking in polite company about it. But it's I think there's a big stigma to it. But like, if you can just fucking deal with reality, man, these people in these videos actually went through these things, and you can't fucking be bothered to understand the reality of what's going on in your world on some of these hardcore sites. I mean, I think I almost feel a vague sense of like responsibility to just go to these really deep places in the internet and see the most fucked up shit that happens in this world, so I can truly understand,
Yeah, you have said that before. And I understand it, but I just don't see how that can possibly be good for me.
Well,
I know
I understand
how I feel when I see somebody die.
I understand.
Just like under normal circumstances, like the way that I felt just to see Lavoy Finicum drop dead from 100 feet away.
Do you know if that Lavoy Finicum video was posted on Gorgrish, it would get all downvotes because it doesn't show anything good? It would be like, everybody would be like, you said we saw a guy get fucking brutally shot. This fucking sucks. I don't see any blood or nothing. But I understand your response. I was trying to interrupt you, but I was going to say I understand your response because in a very subtle way, I was trying to guilt you into watching videos like this. I was.
Yeah.
And so I get what you're saying. You don't want
you have tried to convince our mother to watch these videos with you.
No, Andrea, that was when I was crazy. I didn't eat or sleep for like 4 days after my
you still tried it though.
After my whole breakdown in Chicago, and people were just like watching me, before I left and came to New Orleans, and my whole fucking life was torn apart in a day, and I was crazy. I was crazy, Andrea. But everyone who was coming to the house, she wouldn't do it. I probably tried. I don't remember that. But everyone who came to talk to me, I think it was like a tactic of like showing people how horrible I felt. But I couldn't even speak. I was just like, I just look at this. Look at this. Everyone who came to the house, I'm just like, fucking watch beheading videos with me, dude. That's what I want. People are like, how can I help you? What can I do for you? Sit down and watch fucking beheading videos right now. That's what that's
Yeah, I walked in one time, and Dree, you were there with your mom, and you were just sitting there watching them, and like it was real quiet and weird.
Mm-hmm.
because
And then you watched one.
And then I watched
Then he
one
made
with
you watch one.
yeah, I was
felt
doing
like
it
I
to
was
everyone.
helping you carry something. I didn't know that you had seen it 50 times already. I thought you were just trying to distract yourself. So
No.
I was like, all right, let's do this.
I was in such a dark, weird, demonic place that I was like, I want to infect people with beheading videos right now.
Dude, that one, I saw it one time, and it still pops up in my head and gives me like a shiver.
Which one was it?
It was the Mexican chainsaw beheading.
Oh,
The
you
guy
have to
sticking his
watch
neck out.
that. Come on, dude. Everyone has to watch the Mexican
Dude.
chainsaw beheading. You have to. I'm sorry, but you have to. Like, you can't understand life until you watch that video. Once
I watched it.
I know, but I'm just saying.
It was nasty.
Yes, I agree. It's the worst. But
The
like,
chainsaw was the easy part. It was the second guy who got the dull knife and
Oh.
had like whistle screams through his fucking
yeah, just that.
open neck.
Yeah. Fucking shit.
It was horrifying.
David Box is not laughing
No,
right now.
Did not like that. And then they just pick the head up and like put it
Put it on
their
his
slumpy
body plump,
bodies
and then
shit.
it fucking falls off all like unceremoniously, just like clunk on the ground. Just,
And it looks real heavy, and you're like, yeah, I bet a head
it
is
is.
heavier.
It's
than
like
it
heavy
actually
and like organic. Like, ugh. It's like a fucking dead animal.
And then the
head.
director's like, and that's a wrap. All right, everybody.
Right.
Good work, ISIS.
Going
No,
home. It's in
dude.
the can.
That's the thing. Is you? This is what I keep trying to get at. You have to understand something about this world. Is that this is not an uncommon fucking thing. Is for people to be evil enough to stand around in groups and torture and kill someone to death. It's not you kill them to death, and it's not. It's not.
That's serious.
Right. It's not uncommon. And this is what I keep harping on is like, go on these sites and weather it. Get through it. Understand it. Because I've seen fucking videos of 12 dudes in a fucking room beating a guy to death with a baseball bat, taking turns as he's handcuffed, and they're hitting him over and over and over and over and over and over. And they're getting one guy will hit him until he's worn out, and then pass the bat to another guy who will hit him until he's worn out. And they're hitting him in the elbows and the knees and the ankles and the bottom of the fucking feet. They don't want him to pass out. 12 guys listening to the same music that the fucking guys I worked with in kitchens for 10 fucking years listen to. The same radio station. I remember listening to this video and thinking, like, when I was watching it, the guys that I worked with had shown me this website called Blog Del Narco that has all these videos, and I was watching it, and I'm like, dude, they're listening to the same radio station you guys listen to, and it sounds like you guys when you stand around and talk, and like, and there's like 12 guys just laughing, standing around making jokes while they're beating a guy with a fucking bat as hard as they can until he dies. That's the reality of human existence. What most of us don't understand, especially a lot of us that grew up in the bubble of like safe existence here in the United States, which exists in like suburbs and nice cities and this and that, and a lot of the places that we all come from, we don't understand that this is a reality. People kill the fuck out of each other. They fucking kill each other horribly. I've seen video. Oh, God damn it. Why? I don't know. I guess this is the show. We're going to throw away all the news articles that we looked up and everything else because this is going to be it. But I've seen videos of, like in Eastern Europe where there's Muslims who look like white, you know what I mean? Like blue-eyed guys and stuff like this. And there's some crazy Chechenian motherfuckers that like behead people, and I've seen videos where they do them one at a time and make each other watch and hold each other's fucking faces up and like, no, you fucking watch your friend die, and then let one of them run away and then keep like capturing him again and then like act like they're gonna let him go again, and he's like, okay, and he starts leaving, and they just grab him again and then bring him back and start stabbing him and shit. Like, that's what people do. That's people. All this fucking that. What are they special? Did they fucking have a different fucking something in their DNA? No. This is what people. This is where people's minds can go. This is what people are capable of. You know what I mean when I say I have like a vague obligation to understand that? You know.
Yeah. I do know what you mean. I have never felt the same sense of responsibility ever in my whole life. Even now, even though I understand yours, I can't feel that.
And it's probably healthy to remember that it goes the other way too. That people are capable of really, really insanely good things at times.
Something drives me to dissect the evil.
Yeah, I know. I'm not even saying look at the good things. Just remember that they're there.
No, yeah. Of course they are. I give that same speech sometimes on the show, too. If you look at the world one way, you can see all of the fucking amazing genius innovations that people make to fight the fucking Borg takeover that we're all facing. You know, it's true. And the evil is counteracted by amazing acts of kindness and altruism. But something drives me, David Box.
I think I said
dissect,
peeper.
To dissect the evil.
Peeper. There's some peeper.
Well, I don't know why I said that so creepy before. I was
Dissect.
trying to pull off like an Edgar Allan Poe kind of thing. Something drives me to dissect the evil. Rapping on my ass. Wait. Hold on. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, people suck. I don't want to get reincarnated because it's likely I'll get reincarnated as a brown person. Wouldn't that be
You're
terrible?
right. Statistically, this is the shit, dude. You want to live forever if you got the old white skin.
Yeah. Or reach enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
Reach the hell out of
enlightenment.
here.
Oh yeah.
Vibrate out of this fucking this plane and get on to some astral traveling. Get out there and really do some shit. What do you think you do?
I can't wait until I'm a big vibrating ball of light.
I love that that's like the extent of our philosophy. Like you get deep into philosophy after years and you're like thinking about this stuff of like we could vibrate into a plane of another heightened existence and awareness and then I'm like, when you actually break it down, the fuck are you talking about? What could you do? What are you gonna go do? What is gonna happen? What the fuck? Where are you gonna go? The fuck are you gonna think about?
Will I be there?
Yeah. None of us have any idea or any picture of what that might actually be like. And the ones that
you transcend.
The ones that there are just hilarious. Like you got what do you got? You got heaven. You got a bunch of white fluffy clouds and some big gold gate and a guy with a big fucking notebook and shit. Here, you can come in. You down the slide like the fucking Christmas Story. Boom.
Yeah.
Fucking kicks him down like Santa to hell. All the representations are silly. Like none of us like we all have this vague idea. Like we can get out of here. We can do this thing. Maybe we'll transcend to like what? To where?
It just means you're flying around. That's all it means.
Yeah.
Everything is the same. You can just fly.
Yeah.
That would be cool if it was like the Kurt Vonnegut book, Sirens of Titan. You read that?
I haven't read that one.
No, it's like one guy gets lost in time. It's like the main character, kind of not, but he's. I wish I could remember the names, but the names in that book were silly, and I can't really remember them. But he's like existing at all these different places in space and time at once, and when it coincides, right, he can like reappear at his home to talk to his family and stuff, and he comes in and out, and he always has his dog with him. Whatever. If you guys haven't, I was really hoping that you guys had read that book so we could kind of bounce off each other a little bit, but that's all I got. Yeah, that happened in a book once.
Oh,
That's basically what I'm saying here.
Neat.
Yeah.
No, it's like a lucid. You've had lucid dreams where you can control what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's all that it is. Just being there all the time and like having even more control.
Or
that's the place everyone wants to go.
maybe it's just like I kind of picture it like remembering, like, man, I used to listen to this lady who talked about, and man, I know I'm like horrible with sometimes these names and stuff, and it's probably frustrating as a listener, but you know, you go through so many fucking thousands of things that you listen to for a while on YouTube or whatever. And this one lady that I used to listen to used to talk about how, you know, we were actually souls that come from this like staging area in the astral plane or whatever, in the fucking Higgs field, as we talk about, and it's this thing in the middle of reality somewhere where souls are dispatched to where they're needed the most. So she talked about these different waves of like from this center, souls were needed in this way, and they came in waves on this year and this year and this year. And the way that she all kind of lined it all up, it used to sound pretty good. And one of the last years was 1984. That was when I was born. So it was this, you know, little bit of a thing of you might fall for it because of delusions of grandeur, like astrology or something. You know what I mean? Where you go, oh wow, that is me. You know, but it was funny. I used to listen to it and go, man, that is totally, I resonate with that. She's like, a lot of people from this year will feel like, why am I here? This place is so mean and weird, and it sucks, and like, and no one fucking cares about each other, and this and that, and like, and a lot of these people will want to kill themselves, and it went on and on. But the basic idea was that she's like, you have to remember that you chose to come here. And I've always pictured, because that really resonated with me, I've pictured like, maybe this transcending into another plane or transference of your energy into another state might have to do with going back to something that you remember and going, oh man, that was nuts, man. I was totally in there. I was fucking that interface was that was crazy. I totally forgot that I ever existed, and I thought I was Vinny Micco. I thought I was fucking in there.
Yeah.
That was nuts. That was so long. I slept every night. I
had to eat.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might just wake up and be like, dude, wait, no, this is what I am. I'm this fucking floating soul that has like this noble purpose. You know, I don't know.
Well, and this is something that David Box actually brings up a lot, and that's just like feeling like your body is like clunky and too big for you, and it's not like the proper vessel for what you're actually being.
And that
know?
you only have one. So retarded.
One body
is the lamest thing ever.
Well, David Box, something tells me that you've got more than one body in the crawl space of that apartment, buddy. You're a creep. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got somebody on the phone here. It's actually our arch nemesis sister, Cadence Ann. Hello.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you, Cadence Ann?
Fine, thanks. I just wanted to call because you were talking about the Sirens of Titan.
Oh, yeah. Good. Okay, you've read it.
Oh, like 100 times. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So, and I went down and pulled it out of my closet as a reference, but I don't need it. The guy's name is Winston Niles Rumford.
Right, okay.
He gets trapped in a chronosynclastic infundibulum.
Okay.
Which is basically he just like went into this hole in outer space and it kind of stretched him. So he is in every point in the universe, and he is also in every time in the universe, but he's on a line. You know,
right? So
his existence chronologically is on a line.
Yeah.
So when the Earth crosses that line, then he can like be at his house, you know, and talk to his wife and his dog, whose name is Kazakh, is trapped in the chronosynclastic infundibulum with him. But consequently, he is like enlightened and knows everything, and has like a really good grasp, you know, of the universe as a whole. And then eventually he just kind of gets caught in the base of his chronosynclastic infundibulum is in the sun, and a sunspot takes him out. So then he like just fizzles, and then he is no more.
Oh,
And
that's right. And he knew when he was going out of existence, and he came to say goodbye, and he was like fading away.
He knew exactly when he was going to go out of existence.
God, what a master of emotion Kurt Vonnegut was. Holy shit.
Oh my God, that book is just absolutely fantastic. It's and it's also the very same book in which he proposes a theory for the reason that there is life on Earth, which is there is a soul alien trapped on one of the moons of Saturn, which is called Titan, hence the title of the book.
Yeah.
And he's missing one small part for his spaceship to take him on his great journey. And so they create life on Earth to get him the one tiny little piece of his spaceship that he needs.
That's right. Yeah. Oh yeah. He was a fucking God. What a master! Imagine the genius of that fucking ironic comedy of just summing up human existence for that fucking tiny arbitrary little event. You know, like
and he was carrying a message too. So like this civilization that this guy, this alien, I can't remember the alien's name, was from. They had a message for him to take throughout the universe until he found like whatever the super advanced civilization he was supposed to find.
Yeah.
And
was that was the same guy?
Remember.
Wasn't he stuck in the cave for a long time? He was the guy that they called Unk, right?
Yeah, Unk was the main character.
Right, and he was from Mars. And
no. Well, he was originally from Earth, and then he was transported to Mars.
Okay.
Because some Earthlings secretly set up a civilization on Mars to attack Earth, which like failed real hilariously.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But then he was stuck in a spaceship upside down in a cave for a lot of the book. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And a lot of the book.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Was him trying to figure out how to get the fuck out of that cave, and there were those creatures in the cave that were like tiles. They were like you know, like they were made of like soft material, and they would like crawl, and they would form into different patterns and change colors and do like little like shows for him and stuff. And they were
they were delivering messages to him too.
And they would give him messages,
and
but that was only after a while. At first, he's like, "There's just these fucking things, and they're just going in these patterns and stuff." And then after a while, they told him how to get out of the fucking cave because he was stuck. His ship was stuck upside down, like at the bottom of this cavern for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then he finally figures out the ship has like, what did he figure out? He could tell the ship that it needed to go, like it had some system that could make it lower to the ground.
Yeah,
or something.
It was
so
like
he
was using his landing, whatever.
The landing thing
down,
to make it go down. So it like kicked in thrusters to make it like go backwards, basically, and he got out of there.
Yeah. I just was rifling through my book here that I pulled out for reference. The message that Earth was created to get this alien to the other side of the universe to deliver. He wasn't supposed to open it, but he finally opened it, and all it said was greetings.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Yep, that's a great book.
All right, Katie, since I got you on the phone, how about this? How about the book Slapstick?
Slapstick is a good one. I haven't read that in a long time, though. That one was about the religions, the Bokanon, right?
Okay, well,
No, that was...
It was about like the rich family that had the mutant brother and sister that stayed in the house and like made up their own language to talk to each other and stuff and
president of the world.
Yeah, but then they ended up being really successful later in life, but for the most of their life they like ran around in the walls of the house and stuff and were like they were all like hairy and weird. But that book
they were giants, right?
Were they? I don't remember. Fuck.
I think they were giants.
They were tall. Yeah, they were.
I remember
and
that.
all the Chinese people in that book were the biggest Chinese person was the size of a regular person's thumb.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they had selectively bred themselves smaller and smaller and smaller to use fewer and fewer
God,
resources.
Man, there's so many great things I forget about. Yeah, that book. All I remember is that it was one of the most absolutely pleasurable reading experiences I've ever had. And I remember parts of it and then everything else, and how it kind of made me feel about certain things. And how it, like, you know, how it unfolded and everything. But yeah, there's so many great little fucking twists and turns in his writing. That's amazing.
And all of it, yeah. And it's Sirens of Titan, the one we were just talking about, that was his first novel. That was the first novel he ever wrote.
What a
And
genius.
yeah,
Which one?
The meaning of life in it.
You know, he started his writing career writing technical manuals for GE.
I did know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to write, and that was how I think that's how he became such an incredibly gritty, relentless writer, is because he had to find a way to entertain himself in that bland of writing. And he talked about that. He's like, I used to just do anything with language that I could to entertain myself. And he got fucking chops, obviously, from doing that, and he started writing short stories and everything.
Yeah, he was working at GE for a long time, and he was also trying to sell short stories to magazines, which he made a slight career at, and then eventually he started selling novels in it.
Right.
And he didn't work for GE anymore.
Fucking genius, dude. He's Jesus. But no, the slapstick thing, Katie.
Yeah.
I think for anyone that has a sibling they're close to, that book will really get to you. And you know, me and you don't like Andrea. That's kind of always been the thing.
Yeah. Well, not at all, really.
Right. She's kind of a piece of shit. That she was like an unnecessary addition. Like we already had
right here.
We already had the family. Hold on, Andrea. We already had the family going, and we were, you know, me and Katie. I mean, let's face it, Andrea. Look at us and look at you. Me and Katie are already kicking ass in the world, you know, and along comes this fucking little piece of shit. And so we've and everyone acts like, oh, what a miracle. Oh God. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah. And then to top it off, she's so fucking happy all the time.
No, and she's like the most successful of anyone. She's a fucking piece of garbage. And so anyways, though, so throw Andrea out of this, because when I read that book, now me and Katie used to be really, 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 really close, and then we were not close decidedly for a long time, and now we are kind of, you know, getting back into things. And when I read that book, I sobbed because of like me and you, because like I like
really?
identified so much with the brother sister in that book. I'm like, wow, I totally know what, you know, like what he's talking about here is this, like, this bond that you can't form with anyone else other than the person you closely grew up with next to you. That everything comes at you at the same time together, and everything about the world you learn together. There's no one else on the planet that understands you that way. And that was the metaphor there with the way that they had their own language to talk to each other and stuff. Mm-hmm. Anyways, at the end of the book,
you know, Vonnegut writes a lot about like sibling interaction, because he had a sister that he was very, 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 very close to,
and she died.
And who died? Yeah, and then he adopted her 3 children.
But anyone who has a close sibling who reads slapstick, it's fucking, it will tear at your soul. It just does.
I'll have to reread it, because I haven't read it probably since I was a teenager.
Yeah, no, reread it. It like it's just such an amazing commentary on the close sibling relationship. It's like it's, you know, a thing that everybody kind of knows, except for only children. And fuck you if you're not aware. None of us actually like you. You're kind of always the weird fringe friend that one person keeps you as part of the group, and the rest of the people are like, God, dude, can we not hang out with Connor anymore? And somebody's like. Somebody's like, dude, no, come on, he's nice. Our parents are friends. Like, oh God. But all the rest of us normal people, that's a real guy. All the rest of us normal people, we understand, like, the fucking, man, the way it's like you have this relationship with your close siblings that are like just fucking, it's you in this bubble looking out at the world from this same fucking viewpoint, you know. And it's nobody. Nobody can ever.
People aren't like that with their siblings. There are people that have siblings that are almost as if they were an only child. You know.
Yeah.
Like, which is very sad too. Like Andrea, for
Fuck them
instance.
too. Yeah, well, Andrea.
I was literally just about to say I remember so many things about slapstick, but the brother-sister relationship is not one of the things that has stuck with me since I've read it.
And that's the main thing I took away from it.
Yeah. So if that just like helps you guys illustrate how alienated I was
Yeah.
as a child.
Well, no one cares about you.
Yeah.
No, it's that Vinny's super mushy and a pussy.
Yeah.
He loves Katie so much.
Gay.
Love your sister.
You're gay for your sister.
Faggot sister loving
There was like one
cocksucker.
line in there about sibling love, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!"
Katie, I've been waiting to talk to you about this for years.
Well, I'll have to reread it. I'm gonna go to the library tomorrow.
It made me cry because I was just, I was thinking about when me and you used to we used to have a toy island because our bed was a ship. Okay, I forget. I think it was my room, and we were really young. You were probably like 2 or 3, and I was like 4 or 5, and we had a closet full of these toys. All kinds of dinosaurs and Ninja Turtles and sharks and fucking cars and whatever. And it was Toy Island, and our bed was a ship, and we used to swim to Toy Island and talk and talk in this like made up language that didn't mean anything. And I don't know. I thought about that. I'm just like, oh yeah, totally, brothers and sisters. I know.
I totally remember Toy Island.
Yeah.
I forgot about Toy
We'd
Island.
be like, ahoy! It's time to swim. It's time to, like, little kids play like shit too. You ever seen little kids play? It makes no sense. There's not it's like everybody talks about little kids' imaginations. They suck. They just do the same thing over and over again. Hey, it's Toy Island. Oh no, a pirate. Okay, we're safe. Oh no, a pirate. Hey, it's Toy Island. Oh no, a pirate. Hey, okay, we're good now. Hey, look, I saw a dolphin. No, there's no dolphins. Those stupid little kids playing.
Kids are the worst.
Yeah. Fucking bad at playing. When I was with up in Wisconsin with Darcy's family, a couple months ago, and her sister has a couple kids, and the one is 2 around or something like that, and we're playing this game, and of course he's dictating the fantasy. We're at an office building, and we're fucking working or something, and I'm like, all right, this is really fun. Let's like wash windows or whatever. He's like, we gotta take the elevator, so I have to pick him up. And I'm the elevator now, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty fun once, and then, dude, until it got dark, every 5 seconds, I need to go up the elevator. I'm like, no, you don't, because I've lifted you up 600 times right now, and I'm not doing it anymore. But you can't explain it to him. So what you have to do is go, oh, you know what? The elevator's broken. The repairman is coming. We gotta wait. And he is so addicted to the fantasy that he can't resist that. Like, okay, well, I guess. You just play that out. You just play that out for as long as you can. Just like, yeah, well, he's not here yet. He got stopped for expired tags. He's gonna be a little while. Okay.
He's gotta go get his emissions test.
Right.
Then he can go get his sticker.
Hopefully, he can get his emissions tested tomorrow.
Got his registration.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, his boss is gonna have to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's strike 3.
Yeah, now they're gonna have to send a new repair guy.
That's how bad little kids are at playing. They just keep
the last one.
They just keep doing the same thing over and over. Fucking little kids. The imagination of little children is so grossly overrated. I can't even tell you.
Wait, you described him as addicted to the fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, what an idiot.
The most aggressive way to describe a child playing make-believe.
Yeah, just so demeaning. Just this dependent, pathetic little excuse for a human being is so addicted to the fantasy that he believes I called a repairman for my arms.
God damn it.
All right. Well, I'm not really contributing to this, so I'm going to hang up now.
All right. Well, thanks for calling.
All right, that's our arch nemesis, Sister Kate.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
All right,
Goodbye.
later. Well, Andrea and David Box, I think we've done enough for this evening.
Yeah, I think that has to be it.
I had a good time. I did.
Yeah, this was a nice show.
I think it was great.
This
think
was
it was-
a nice show.
Oh,
I
shit.
think it was a nice show.
Oh, you know what? Hold on.
What?
I just saw on the Skype there's like 60 missed calls from Eric. Oh, well.
Oh, no.
Sorry, dude. I was not looking at that computer for a long time. I don't know how many times did Katie call, I wonder. No, she only called
Yeah, I
once.
don't know.
Well, I saw her call. Sorry.
That's weird.
Whoopsie, but dude, thank you so much to Eric, to all the new subscribers, all the new people who hate us and think we're retarded and we're discrediting the movement. Anyone else, we really appreciate you hanging out with us and checking the show out. So I think I'll take us out on this classic ditty right here.
Take us out, bro.
Yes, this is our favorite song. As Americans who still believe in the noble dream of our forefathers to have a government for and by the people, subject to checks and balances which will ensure proper justice and equal footing for every man, woman, and child of this beautiful land who has a dream, an idea, an innovation. This is the American spirit, ladies and gentlemen, and we're losing it to an oppressive federal government. We'll see you guys next show. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.